You want a piece of me, boy?
Nuclear launch detected.
Buying our special StarCraft 2 Nation Wars 5 items. The 5th edition of the National Team-based tournament will offer special in-game items and an exclusive t-shirt. Thanks to our partners, Matcherino and Blizzard, you'll be able to show your support for your country and the tournaments inside and outside of game. Here is how you do it. First, connect to matcherino.com/NW5. You will be warped into this page. Click on Sign in the top right and choose your preferred account to link to Matcherino. It can be your Battle.net, Facebook, Google, Twitch, or even Twitter accounts. Now, scroll down the page and select the package you want. In terms of in-game items, you can buy any of the 32 national portraits to represent the country you love, support, or wish you were born in. I see you South Korean portrait buyers. These portraits are at $2.47 and 30% of this will go to increase the prize pool of Nation Wars 5. You can get as many portraits as you want, but if you are a true hardcore fan of Nation Wars, we got you covered. The complete bundle for StarCraft 2 Nation Wars 5 will cost you $18.59 and will offer the entirety of the 32 national portraits as well as the 4 emoticons and 3 sprays created for the tournament. All of those are designed by the talented Nicolas Chossois. Once again, 30% of the price will go to the prize pool. Last but not least, if you want to represent StarCraft 2 Nation Wars 5 in real life, like a boss, you can get your exclusive t-shirt designed by Nicolas Chossois for $23.57. Once you selected the item you want, click on it. Select your region in the top right, the quantity you wish to acquire, add a contact email, type in the amount of money you need to pay for your items, and click on deposit. From there, you'll be able to use your PayPal account to add the required funds to your Matcherino profile. Once it's done, go back to the Matcherino page, check the tiny box to agree with the terms of service, and click on purchase. You made it! As the stretch goal will get closer, some surprises will be unlocked for you guys. Visit the main page of Nation Wars on Matcherino to check this out. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to visit the description section of the page. You'll find plenty of useful information about all the process of buying Nation Wars 5 items. Enjoy the StarCraft 2 Nation Wars 5!
Hello everyone and welcome back with us. I'm with Funka and Rotterdam for the first winners match.
Check the tiny box.
Check the tiny box, guys.
Have you checked the tiny box?
Yeah, if you don't check the tiny box, you can't purchase anything, which would be a shame because those portraits are amazing. The T-shirt looks amazing as well.
Yeah, you're like T-shirt like a boss. I mean, where's my T-shirt, Funka?
It's happening.
Yeah,
it's
Is it
it's
coming?
happening just for you.
Good.
Just for you. You yelled, louder than anybody else, so you'll get a T-shirt.
Begging.
Okay, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the bracket of Group China. So we already played 2 series of the day. So we had China-Italy earlier, where Italy won.
4-3.
And now we had Snoot, who just all-killed Canada.
Yeah.
So tomorrow we'll have the losers bracket played, so we're gonna have China, Canada, but today we still have Italy, Norway to determine who is going to be the first nation qualified for the next round.
You know, at the beginning of the day, I really thought this group was wide open, and I still feel it's kind of wide open. I honestly find it very hard to predict who's going to win between Italy and Norway. Of course, we mostly feel it comes down to Reina versus Snoot, but I absolutely don't want to count the other guys out. And losing this match would be a very big deal because I don't think any of these countries is a guaranteed win over China, where the Protoss showed us some promising things. Actually, I would almost say better than I expected.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have Time, who's just a very, very strong Terran player. I absolutely think he's one of the best outside of Korea. So this group is still unpredictable.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'd say maybe Canada didn't show that much today, and right now looks like the, top 4 team in this group, but I would, well,
That's
you know,
very American. You're like, you guys are top 4 out of all 4 countries. This is great.
I always end up saying worse, and I think it doesn't sound good. So yeah, maybe takes the last place in this group, but as you mentioned, China, not to be scoffed at by any means, and I think the well, either of those teams, if they were to go down to the losers bracket, then you have a pretty decent match to play against China. And as you mentioned, Protoss players in this team, not looking bad at all.
Nope. It's still unpredictable. I'm very excited for this one, though. Italy versus Reynor. I hope that we finally get to see Poseidon and Saif duke it out with Mia Nonna and Rune Blaster as well. That would be cool. But of course, all eyes are going to be on Reynor and Snoot.
Okay, let's quickly check into our team. Italy to start with.
But once again, Italy, super top heavy, Reynor doing super good, but we had a game from Mia Nonna that looked super strong in the PVT matchup, almost took out time. You could say that Mia Nonna lost the game himself in a way. Rune Blaster obviously didn't look that good in the TVT he was playing against time, but...
Okay, but I still want to add there, even though Rune Blaster lost that game and in the end it looked one-sided, I always look at a moment where was there potential somewhere in the game, and there are games where it's just zero chance, right, from the beginning to the end. I still believe that if he would find the right opening with his Cyclones, he had the Cyclone advantage. I think if he drives those Cyclones into the natural, even that game becomes very close. So I don't want to say that there was never any hope for him in that game. Unfortunately for him, the way that it played out and the attack path that he took, that was just very well defended. But even that game showed that Rune Blaster has what it takes to perhaps cause an upset.
Yeah, and obviously he will be useful in this game against Norway because, yeah, I don't see a 4-0 coming, and every time I say that, then suddenly there's a 4-0. I don't think any of us predicted that, but yeah, obviously if that that best of 7 comes in and they actually trade games back and forth, then suddenly, yeah, if one of your 2 other players are able to get that game going for themselves, then suddenly you're looking at a different matchup, obviously.
Now let's have a look at the Norwegian lineup. They just all killed Canada. And we have Snoot, Saif, and Poseidon. I'm getting really curious about Poseidon. We haven't seen him playing yet. So
he's good in the interviews, though.
Yeah.
He is. And we should actually take a picture of him while we do the interview, so we can replace...
Or of his wall, because Rotterdam seems really...
Yeah, or at least the wall, you know. The wall looks quite interesting, but...
I'm gonna feel guilty if, like, the next interview we do with him, he has, like, a perfectly nice, clean, white wall, and he's been painting all weekend. His arm hurts, he can't play, he's a substitute player. He's like, this is what you've done to me,
ruined my career.
It's like 7 years of Protoss, my wrist never hurt, but now I painted the entire wall, and it's like, oh...
Yeah, painting a wall is harder than playing Protoss, is that what you were saying?
Depends on the structure of the wall. It's
okay. Not taking any risks.
Let's check our predictions here for this series.
Ooh. On 2 and 2.
We don't really quite agree here.
The ladies go
the ladies versus
easily.
the man. That's kind of what it seemed like.
Yep.
I find this one just hard to predict. I honestly don't know. I think Reynor and Snoot, I think they're pretty evenly matched. I'd overall give, you know, like at least current form, current shape, maybe a slight edge to Reynor. But Snoot still has the experience, and ZVZ, he's always had a solid read on it.
Yes.
And then I also feel that maybe the rest of Team Norway is a little stronger than the rest of Team Italy, and I believe that those guys can carry their weight as well.
Yeah, I think you're onto something here. Norway as a team seems a little bit stronger, and that could come into play. But obviously, when we say 4-3, the most likely outcome would be just, you know, those other guys, they don't really matter. They lose the game, and then suddenly we've got that best of 3 going between Reynor and Snoot. And the reason I went for Norway is, as you said, I think Reynor, super impressive in the ZVT matchup, looked good in ZVP, even though those games against the Chinese players were a little bit harder than expected. But then ZVZ, is it really his best matchup? On the opposite side, Snoot always looked dominant in ZVZ.
Yeah. It's tough to predict, but you have to predict something, right? And then maybe either you can just scoff at it and say it's hard to predict, or you can gloat and brag a little that you were right.
I'm waiting to gloat a little bit.
So it might be the closest series we ever had since the beginning of this tournament, on paper at least. So I'm curious what you think, viewers, about what you think about this series. You can vote in the chat either for Norway or Italy. ITA for Italy or NOR for Norway.
I think they're going to vote Italy heavily. Everyone is in love with Reynor, and you can't blame them. You can't blame the people. I mean, the interviews are amazing. His games are spectacular. So I think the voting is going to be in favor of Italy, but Yeah, I'm gonna go with the veteran here. I mean, you gotta give some respect to the highest earning non-Korean StarCraft 2 player in the world. Snoot, barely enough to pay rent in Norway because it is very expensive there. But
tough life.
he's hanging in there, you know.
Yeah, well, let's go with the interview. So we have Reina and Poseidon with us.
Hello.
Hello again. So, Reina, have you watched Snoot playing against Canada?
Yes.
And what did you think of his DBZ?
Quite convincing.
So,
Were you impressed?
No, I know Snoot. He's really good. So.
Not enough to wipe out the smile of his face, at least. Still has the greatest smile, Poseidon. Well, I'm actually not going to even ask a question. I just want to see you play. I want to see you play, man. You can't say, oh, no, let's see if I can do it and send Snoot first. I'll be mad. So maybe Roddy has a question. I don't have any for you.
I haven't had anything. I mean, we kind of went over it already in the previous interview. How do you think you would fare against the other members of Team Italy? Are you familiar with Mianonna or maybe Runeblaster? Do you run into those guys on the ladder?
I played Mianda 3 days ago and won him quite convincingly. And the Runeblaster I played a few times during the past and never lost to, so quite good against those.
So you're pretty confident.
With Rainer. I played with Rainer a few times and he's quite good, so I have to step up my game against that guy.
All right, happy to hear. And you said you've been practicing a lot off PvZ. Now, obviously, I'm not going to ask you about builds, but how did the overall practice experience go over the last few days? You know, how's the mindset after playing 20 PvZs?
Well, you get pretty tired because you have to like have the walls clear and you have to get the units on hold positions and you have to constant stop the creep and get scout intel and yeah, but I feel like Rainer overall is like a bit easier to prepare against because he's most likely not going to do a 14-14 and all that kind of stuff, so I feel like it's going to be a more macro steady game.
All right.
But I think he's going to be sneaky with the third Nexus timing.
I saw you smile, Rainer, when you said you're easy to predict. Talk to us. What does the smile mean?
Yeah, you never know.
I love this guy.
All right. I think we want to know who starts. I think there's not that much to add.
It's time. Poseidon, if you tell Snoot again, I'm really going to pout here. But who's your starting player for Norway?
You're looking at him?
Oh, yes! The man!
Of course.
The man!
Finally,
I love you again,
finally.
Poseidon. I love you again now.
Okay. And what about for Italy, Reina?
It's going to be Mianonna.
Oh, PvP!
Okay.
Mianonna against Poseidon for the first game in this winner's match. Well, I wish you the best of luck and see you maybe if you win after the series.
See you guys. Good luck.
That is not the opening match that I predicted, but I like it. I mean, a PvP between Poseidon and Mianonna. 5 seconds after Poseidon said I beat him quite convincingly. I'm excited.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of stuff on the line right there. Like, I mean, you said that in an interview, and you look a little bit smirky, you know, as you say. It's like, I beat him quite convincingly. And now you've got a real game, you know? Real game to play against that guy. It's going to be interesting. Hey, see? People favor Norway.
Oh, wow.
I think the Snoot fan are just too much.
I did not expect that. I really thought everyone would go all out on Italy.
Me too. I mean, like, how could you can't vote for Reina? Look at him.
You can't vote against him, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But apparently they do it anyways, you know?
Yeah, I guess the loyalty still prevails for now.
Yeah, well, he did guard the European region for a long time, Snoot.
Yeah,
so you have to respect that, you know? Go back to your roots. Like, he was the only one to beat those pesky Koreans. Have to love it for him.
They're voting for experience. You know, I actually played a little bit of ladder this morning, and one of my first games was actually against Mianonna in PvP. Little weird. His playstyle's out there. But I think it mostly I think for the players here, they're probably like adjusting some mind games as well, and where potentially would Poseidon or Scythe have upset potential over Rainer, because I don't think they feel that Snoot would lose against one of the other two members of Team Italy. So I think it's all about, you know, like the non-Snoot guys getting a good map versus Rainer to potentially cause a big upset, and obviously they would help snoot out tremendously if they take one map from Reiner.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the story of that best of 7 as well. Like, we can see those Norwegian player may be able to take a game out of Reiner that would help him so much. And, well, for now, you have to take up me and Nonna, you know? And you did it this morning.
I did it this morning.
So good, so good.
Actually, it was kind of funny because the first 5 games I played, all 5 were against people that participate in Nationwide Season 5. I'm like, damn, they're either still going, even like the guys that were already eliminated. It's like Aquarion first got destroyed. Artura get destroyed again. I was like, okay, now it's going to get easier. Right, Battle.net, I get snoot. I'm like, oh, come on. It's like, this is not how I want to wake up. It's like the worst thing in the world, you know, when you just rolled out of bed, you're still sipping your coffee, you're like, okay, give me like someone that's like 300 MR below me. No, 700 above. It's like, oh, God. We all know that feeling.
The Rectorino.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first game between Poseidon and me and Nonna is gonna be on Neon Violet.
Oh, okay.
So while waiting for the game to be ready, keep tweeting at us. And I really enjoy it. It's not only Bursty, so we have. I want to see other tweets too. Just share the pictures, how you're enjoying this event, and what you think, and you can cheer for your favorite nation as well.
Yeah, we'll try to show them as much as we can on the show. We always like those. We didn't get that many pictures of Dog.
I know, guys.
Which actually makes me a little bit mad.
I know. Last year, I put in a request, hashtag NW5, show us how you're watching Nationwide, and show us your puppy as well. And we got a couple of great tweets out there, you know, from Akitas, Huskies, Shibas. Where are they right now? All I saw was a cat. I mean, cats?
Cats are
in
great
2018?
too.
Yeah, no.
Who has a cat in 2018?
Oh my God! Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you. Like, let's see some dogs. Let's see some dogs. Okay, first game, PvP, Neon Violet Square. Roddy, talk to me.
It's obviously a map that screams kind of cheekiness because there is a pocket expand, and this is a map it's hard to scout everything in a PvP. So there's a lot of potential for proxy stargates. Obviously, the occasional dark shrine will get thrown in as well. This is not a map where a lot of players feel very confident in going for like a sentry stalker and then dropping the nexus and then even dropping a robo, because that's just not very good against stargates. Either way, guys, here we go. It's going to be our final nation war of the day, but this is one that truly matters, as we're about to find out who's going to be our first nation in the quarterfinals of Season 5. As we're looking in the main base of the man who does the interviews for Norway, it's Poseidon.
Yep, first time we see him play, we heard him talk a lot. But this time he will have to take on this guy who we beat convincingly, apparently. In the bottom right for Italy, it is Mia Nonna.
I think if I have to make an estimation of the MMRs between these two, I kind of give Poseidon like a 400 to 500 MMR advantage over Mia Nonna. So that's a pretty seizable lead, but at the end of the day, MMR doesn't win games. Good scouting and good reactions and good execution does. As we see Mia Nonna already having his probe in a pretty particular spot. Look at Poseidon. He's almost like he's expecting it. He wants to make sure that there is no Stargate super close to his base. But there is still a chance there is going to be a Stargate in the right top side. And then my big question is, Funka, is he going to go with 1 or does he wait for 2 oracles? Because if you go with 1 and there is a shield battery, you reveal everything, you won't get much done. If you wait for 2, it sometimes hits so late that people don't necessarily expect the oracle anymore.
Yeah.
Or it's a Twilight, you never know.
Yeah, the delayed oracle works quite well, and if you wait for 2, then suddenly, as you mentioned, battery shield not gonna do anything, not gonna be able to repair those probes as fast as they could.
I like it.
Gonna block here. Confirm 2 adepts.
That's a nice scout,
good scout,
of course.
without losing the probe, I think. Oh, that's a nice switcheroo.
I would have loved to see Milano chase down the probe there, guys, for many reasons. Because now this probe could get back. Whoa, he actually locks him in the main. He's like, you know what? Why don't you just never expand? Do you still have a probe out on the map? Wow, both players just going crazy here, going aggressive.
This game is already looking quite interesting here, with the double proxy structure. At least 1 Stargate so far, and now just a pylon. Could be just for a pressure with Stalkers. Probably like the 5th and 6th Stalker that should be warped in with a slow warp in. Nice reaction time from Poseidon, blocking the main.
Poseidon getting 1 shield battery, but that's, of course, we already went over that. 1 shield battery is not necessarily enough. Oh wait, he was that was the wall up. I thought it was a pylon, sorry. But now he's still getting 1 shield battery in his main mineral line. Let's see what Mianona decides to do. Is he gonna wait? As it's a straight up 4-gate from Poseidon. This is gonna be really hard for him to hold, don't get me wrong, guys. But he's also gonna lose a lot. As Mianona is saving his first Oracle, he really needs to save both. If he goes with one, I have the feeling he's gonna be in a lot of danger. He lets the Shade finish in the middle of 4 Stalkers.
Yeah, that's interesting as the Oracle comes into the mineral line, and now the battery shield doing its work, not losing a single probe, I believe, as on the opposite side of the map, the Robo is finishing, the 3rd gateway is finishing, he's got Warp Gate going. That's tough.
Yeah, sorry, I thought it was straight up 4-gate, but you're right.
It was
it's
a Robo.
3-gate Robo. Mianona still has absolutely no idea this is happening. Expanding this fast, while you haven't seen an expand on the other side of the map, is always risky. You need to identify, what is my opponent doing? I'm in his main, I don't see anything other than 4 Stalkers, but I also saw he has no Nexus, so there must be something else going on. These Oracles, will they do damage? Yes, absolutely, they're going to do quite a bit of damage. The Adepts are going to show up as well. This is obviously a good start, but can Mianona survive at home?
He needs to react now. He needs to know that there's something missing, no technology whatsoever, and that's a probe actually blocking the Stalkers, causing a lot of trouble. 7 probe went down. That's 18 only for Poseidon. He doesn't have the greatest of economy, but he will get an Immortal quite soon.
I'm surprised he's still mining this much gas, by the way. Poseidon not having 16 probes on his mineral line now. Still mining quite a bit of gas, but he does have sentries. He has that proxy Robo. Mianona needs to chrono boost out an Immortal as quickly as possible. He goes for the Observer. He's really worried. He's worried about DTs, but you can't be worried about everything in a PvP. It is nice, though, that he keeps these Stalkers at home with his Oracle. I mean, if he buys more time, Mianona's actually putting himself in a good spot if Poseidon doesn't commit. That
push from Poseidon is just not going. He's just not going for it because he doesn't have his units at the proper angle, at the proper position on the map. And still 4 Stalker that will remain in the mineral line. He will reinforce with only 2 Stalkers, 2 Sentries, and probably a second Immortal while he finishes. But he's got Phoenixes, he's got units, and an Immortal about to come out.
Yeah, it's very cute. He's getting a Phoenix defensively. I actually kind of like that. That could really help lifting one of these Immortals. And then if he has 1 Immortal on the ground, Mianona, why are you not getting a shield battery in your natural? This is all you need. You're in such a good position. You know you've got a Nexus. You know you've done a lot of probe damage. You need to invest in defenses right now.
Even his units, I think, are still in the main. He will confirm that there's a proxy Robo and a gateway as he's being attacked on the natural. Does he try to defend? He will sack the natural. I'm not sure that was the exact, the right decision on this one because I think the sentries were a little bit too far. He wouldn't have not have been able to force field the ramp, but now he loses the Nexus, loses all the probes that he had in advance compared to his opponents. I think there was a little bit more to be done here for Mianona.
I mean, if he's positioned on the low ground and he has a shield battery there, then he's actually fine. If he defends, he's in a phenomenal position. Now it gets awkward. I mean, obviously, Poseidon's going to have a hard time going up the ramp. Mianona's going to have a very hard time going down the ramp. Force field's being dropped from down below. Let's take a look at these Oracles and the Phoenixes. If they can do more economic damage.
It doesn't look like it. He will lose 1, which means the other Oracle will lose his potential to just straight up kill those probes because the battery shield is still there. Phoenix was not with the rest of the army. And
Phoenix didn't want to be friends with the Oracles.
Nah.
Could have actually been very useful. Okay, this is kind of cute. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not total panic mode yet for Mianona. He's been mining a little bit more of the natural. He has his own Robo. He has his Stargate. He knows he did economic damage, and he's still keeping some Stalkers at home. This is still a very playable game. Poseidon is very keen to end this on 1 base, which I'm kind of surprised by.
Well, at least he's going to try to deal a little bit more damage as the Oracle will fly by, not die, but he will get the vision with the Prism. And with those 2 Immortals, I think he's in a good spot to actually maybe could force field here.
He lost 1 sentry there, so good snipe by Mianona, who still has a shield battery helping out a little bit as well. Random force field, you're going to be careful with your 1 Immortal there. Now Mianona's getting a Robo Bay, which I don't hate, by the way. If he gets a Disruptor out,
that's a good force field.
Yep.
That's a dead Immortal. There's no Prism on the side of Mianona. And as you said, Robo Bay, we've seen that he likes the Disruptor play. And I think it has potential in those kind of games. It's still no force field, lack the vision, I think. But even that gateway could be taken down, and that's most of the production in terms of gateway units that will go down for Mianona.
Yeah, who can't really spend his money right now. He's on 1 gate, 1 Robo, 1 Stargate, but he doesn't really have that much gas. He's going to end up losing a pylon there as well. Could potentially even end up losing his last gate. Now he adds a couple of extra gates. He is going to Chrono Boost out his Disruptor, which is nice. He needs a few more pylons as well as more force fields go down from the low ground. Poseidon, so aggressive, despite the fact that he's getting a Nexus on the other side of the map.
Yeah, for now, I think it's pretty smart. I mean, the Disruptor is not out yet. He should be able to save that Immortal. He will do it now. And yeah, the Disruptor is not here. It will be here in a couple of seconds. How does he react? That was super important. Super important that he did that. No force field on the ramp. And Poseidon will try to end the game as he dropped down a Nexus, but there's just not enough. 4 gateways are being built right now by Mianona, but not a single unit available. That disruption, getting a couple of Stalkers, that was good enough. But is it in the end like just too much on the side of the Norwegian Protoss?
Pretty bizarre PvP here as the Disruptor is waiting. It's like, when can I finally shoot again? As the gateways finish up as well. Now we can warp in some units. That Disruptor shot is not all that good. I don't think he has any rapid warp-ins, by the way. Okay, this one barely. Never mind. Obviously, he's connecting that to the warp gate. I was looking at the pilots on the right side. I was like, can he get any fast warp-ins? And obviously, he was powering the gateways with something. But that Robo being unpowered as well. The Oracle and the Phoenix just didn't do enough in the end. GG. Poseidon keeps his word, but I'm not sure if I would call it very convincingly.
That was not like totally convincing, if I may say. But in the end, I think he, like the crisis management in general, was really good from him. And the Oracle harassment did super well for Mianona. I really think it was more a question of Mianona not recognizing the situation he was in. And you said it. Couple of batteries on the natural.
If he stands in his natural, he's got a couple of barriers. Then the only thing that Poseidon could hope for is that he drops miraculous force fields. The one thing I want to compliment Poseidon for is that he wasn't stubborn in the end. Like sometimes if you want to be aggressive, which obviously he wanted to do with 3 gates and a Robo, you don't want to leave that many units at home. And you see a lot of pros players be like, well, I really need these units to be aggressive. He stuck to his roots. He said, no, 4 Stalkers is what I need in the main. And that's what he did. So it never became that bad where he only had like 12 probes left. And then also, I think his little dance near the ramp, I think he also handled that very well with the Warp Prism. Had some good pickups, dropped a couple good force fields from the low ground. That was all well done. But the story here is, Mianona, if you stand on the low ground, if you use the Oracles, the Phoenix, have 2 batteries there, all you need is your own second Immortal, and then I think you defend that Nexus, and you're in an absolutely fantastic position.
Yeah, no, I think he handled, like Poseidon, handled this entire situation quite well. And he was able to finish the game without even using that second Nexus that he dropped down in the background. And getting all those pylons obviously was super important for him. Those 2 early warp gates that went down. And then most of the production facilities from Mianona were not being used. Like the second Disruptor, I think, never came out. And it, just perfectly executed by Poseidon in the end, when it could have been quite hard for him to just, collect himself. Like, okay, how am I supposed to finish this guy when I have 4 Stalkers back at home? So, no, props to him, but as you said, not entirely convincing.
No, I think Mianona hold his own there and made it a nice, fun, scrappy game for us. In 10 seconds, we're about to figure out if we are going to see Poseidon versus Raynor, or if it's going to be Poseidon versus Rune Blaster.
And he said that he was able to beat Rune Blaster as well. No! Come out with the big guns right away.
The young'un.
Yes, the young gun.
All right, well, Poseidon said he's been playing a lot of PvZ. He's obviously been thinking about this match, knew it was a possibility. And it's safe to say here that if Poseidon can get the job done, I mean, he puts Norway in a tremendous position to potentially advance, because then you've got Snoot with perhaps 2 lives. Just take out Reyna 1 time. So this is almost like, you could see it as a nothing to lose, but everything to win situation here for Poseidon.
Yeah, I hope that mentally will actually put him in in the right spot. He's got that opportunity to take out the best player from Italy, and it happens early in the clan war, so it puts a lot of pressure on the shoulders, the tiny shoulders of Raynor. So no, it's
who doesn't seem to feel pressure, by the way. He's like, no, why would I be nervous? I love this game. It's like, yeah, we all do, but we all get nervous too when we play it. Like, I play against somebody that I know, and it's like, okay, I feel it immediately. A match in a competitive environment, it doesn't even matter. Some online tournament, I start shaking. Not Raynor, he just loves StarCraft.
He loves it, and he shows it with amazing results, amazing interviews, and just in general, a pretty amazing skills these days.
And lots of passion. I honestly think that's the key word there as well. He just seems very, very passionate about this game. I love how in some of the previous interviews he mentioned that Sero is his role model. It's like this is the world we live in, where a 15-year-old incredibly good soccer player looks up to a 19-year-old incredibly good soccer player. And then I'm like sitting here, I'm like, this is all sweet and adorable, and I'm so freaking old.
I'm so old, yeah. My time has passed, Roddy. Our time has passed. Okay. That PVZ will happen on Black Pink. Fairly standard and fairly balanced map as far as statistics goes. And we'll see if that ends up helping this guy. The underdog in this game for Norway in the bottom left is Poseidon.
They were just on camera with each other. This man was waving at us and looked relaxed and confident as ever as he's representing Italy. Spawning on the right top side, it's Raynor. And look at what we have on the production tab. And look at Raynor opening up with a pool. What?
That's a forge opening.
Yes.
From Poseidon into a gateway. Okay, and we've got an early pool for Raynor.
I honestly think that Poseidon is hoping for a good old hatch first here. He's looking at this now. He's like, okay, so do I commit? Like, what do I do here? Am I gonna try to get? Oh, what?
He's gonna go for it anyways.
What?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's a good call, but I'm not.
Is he gonna Chrome Boost out a Zealot as well, or just Stalkers? What is he gonna do with the gate? He's taking a gas. Okay, I'm actually so lost right now, Funka.
Okay, he might be able to... No, that's not going to happen. He was one pylon away from having a cannon that would not have been reachable by drones. Or, actually, no, once again, it's not gonna work. Raynor, on top of things, that's a cannon, the second one. So one pylon and one cannon, but this one should be taken out by the drones. It's actually, there's not that much surface area, so...
I'm just so confused. What about the gate? What about the gas?
Not doing anything right now with the gateway. Okay, blocked.
Okay,
the two
that's
drones.
only two drones.
That's actually quite smart, because that cannon won't finish, but he's not going to be able to... probe will fall.
That's mine. He lost both. Okay, wow. Raynor does not want to jump on top of that one cannon with the 6 links.
All right.
Oh, there's another cannon going up as well. So even though Poseidon lost both probes there, I think Raynor is not even respecting those cannons. He looks at it, he's like, yeah, I'll clean it up eventually with a spine and with queens.
He has a spine that's about to finish on the top side. And also, just don't remember that he will not have the vision to fight off against that spine crawler, because when the pylon goes down, no vision whatsoever for Poseidon. You'll actually go down.
The hatch is actually losing a lot of HP, though. I think Poseidon is going to ignore everything. It is just going to go for the hatch. As these links are going to try to run by, and they do run by. This is really bad. I mean, even if it's only 2 links, it's still frustrating, because someone like Raynor is very good in running those links around and be annoying.
Yeah, but that hatchery will fall, Roddy.
Yep. Yeah,
and I still think it's a
good start.
Really cool start from Poseidon. Definitely that probe will survive. I don't know if he plans on building more cannons. He is.
I don't think that's necessary. I think right now you want to focus on your transition. This is why I said these 2 links, it may not seem like a big deal, but this is so annoying. Okay,
he lost 2 of them.
He handles it well. Well done there by Poseidon, but still lost some mining time, right? And almost lost some workers.
Did he think it was like a perfect wall or something? Was he?
No, he was waiting for his probe to either wipe in the pylon or just be on hold position on the ramp, right? But he was just a little too late. A Robo, what are these print F tactics? Like, is he gonna go?
I lost the probe right there. So, gonna go for an expand on the side of Raynor on the 3rd base position.
I think what he wanted, why he sent out the next probe as well, is I think he wanted to get more cannons and batteries in the natural, and then maybe get like a prism and an immortal to the other side of the map. I don't know, it's pretty crazy. It's fun. Raynor is probably not feeling great about all of this, because he's like, you know, I lost my hatch. I obviously didn't do much damage on the other side of the map. Maybe like 2 adepts for... he goes for a Stalker. Oh, he's supply block?
Chrono boosted a supply block Stalker, which is...
the pylon is almost finishing up. Give him a... Well, it took a little while.
I think the Chrono boost is like...
He cancelled the Stalker. He went for the Sentry instead.
I'm not interested in Stalkers anymore.
What if you get 2 Sentries, an Immortal, a Prism, you fly to the other side of the map, and you force field Raynor out of his main with 6 extra gates?
That'd be sick. That'd be sick. I actually like how Poseidon is playing this game.
I'd do it.
Of course.
I feel like if with your Robo, Otherwise, you're going to be quite handicapped here. There's just not too much you can do, right? You're going to be pinned back. You're going to only have to defend. The only sort of form of aggression you have. Ooh, these links are going to be so annoying.
Can he cancel the second Nexus? That's a lot of links with speed. In only one sentry, the battery shield is not done.
And Warp Gate was so late. Immortal.
Okay.
Immortal, good unit.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent unit indeed. And don't forget that this battery shield could help the Nexus. You should repair the Nexus right away, I think.
Yeah,
it's okay.
He doesn't have to. He lost a gate there, though, and he didn't cancel it. And now I feel that Reino is doing a lot with very little. Like, all he's doing here is running around with links, but he's dealing a lot of direct and indirect damage. He's following this up with a Roach Warren as well. Obviously, perhaps paranoid about, you know, some Warp Prism, Immortal, silly stuff happening on his side of the map. And look at Poseidon, he's almost reading this as a massive all-in, but it's not, man. Like, Reino is double hatching on the other side of the map, and he's squeezing out drones.
Once again, super smart on the side of Reino, and he was pressured quite hard during the beginning of this game. Actually, Poseidon, he needs to cancel that gate on the left side. It's going to hurt his economy quite a bit. I think he's not going to cancel it, but...
and I think he needs to cancel the cannon as well. The cannon just feels very... oh, it's another battery.
Another battery shield. Okay,
same idea.
He'll keep the gateway here.
I mean, don't need it though.
That's looking well, as you said. Just Reiner is doing so much with just a set of Zergling that's been super worth it.
When all of that started, I felt the worker count was like 22 drones against 24 probes, and now suddenly Reino has created a 10 worker advantage for himself, already creating an army advantage as well, just in case Poseidon did have a Warp Prism during all this. Yeah, just in case there is a pylon on his side of the map and suddenly units are being warped in and those Immortals start showing up. Reino is playing it now very safe. He's showing a lot of respect against the potential Protoss shenanigans, but none of that is happening because of these Zerglings. They did so much.
They actually did a lot and put him in a really good position right now. Rainer, 40 drones. Larry is here. Well, also like a super late Stargate. I'm just wondering why you would go for such a late Stargate here.
The only way that I see this Stargate is if he feels that Reino is playing Muda. That he feels that maybe Reino reads this as a Prism attack and he wants to shut it down with Mutalisk.
Okay, Phoenix. Hallucinated Phoenix doesn't see anything. Poseidon. Okay, he needs to figure it out. He sees the lair, sees the Roach Warren now. Does he cancel?
I don't see what he's...
Double Stargate. Okay. If you make one...
Triple Stargate!
Triple Stargate. Okay. Poseidon is definitely playing a crazy game right there. Getting a couple of Zerglings, actually more than a couple. It's pretty decent for him.
I love it.
Do you cross the map right there, trying to force a little bit more units out of your opponent? It's already happening.
Did. Yeah,
with killing those Zerglings, he forced Reiner into 22 more Zerglings.
What is he going to make? Oracles?
Mass Oracle?
It's going to take a while, though. They don't have any energy at this point. When you're only on 2 bases, you don't have that much gas income. He's going to try to use these Oracles to potentially secure a 3-base economy. I mean, if he can like survive until he gets 5 or 6 Oracles, then obviously I love it. But I don't know if he's actually going to be able to get there. This Nexus is fully surrounded by Zerglings from Reiner. That's going to be very easy. I want to say cancel, but it's a kill instead.
Oh yeah.
And I mean the gate, the Nexus, that's 600 or 550 minerals.
Yeah, that's already a lot. At the same time, some pylon did finish, so he went out of this supply block. So now building some more Oracles. Poseidon goes for 3 more Stalkers. Okay, he scouted with his Observer that there's a lot of units coming in, so he doesn't really want to defend the 3rd base and the 400 minerals it's worth. So, does he have enough? Like, there's a lot of Roaches, couple of Ravagers already, and so obviously the Oracle.
With Force Fields, Batteries, and Oracles, he has enough, but you're looking at a scenario where Reiner has slightly better economy and Reino is up a base, so why would Reino ever run into that natural? Like, he doesn't have to do that. And Reino obviously showing us that he's a very smart player. He's like, I don't have to do that, so why would I do that?
That sounded like him. I know, confident, 4 bases, Hydra Den. Looks like what he showed against China once again. Just pulling back when he knows that the Protoss is in a rough spot. But I do think the Stargates and the Oracles have not been scouted yet. So the Oracles still have a potential to do some damage as the Hydralisks are not out yet. And we're looking at 6 Oracles already.
I bet Reino is so confused. He's like, Warp Prism, like how many gates do you have? Is it charge Immortal Oracle on 2 bases? Like, you're planning something along those lines, right? Like, nah, actually it's good old Mass Oracle. And,
with +1 attack,
yeah.
which is weird. Doesn't really trigger anything from the Oracle. It might transition into Phoenix or Carrier eventually.
I would say Void Race or Carriers then, right? I mean, Void Race would actually be somewhat useful against all the roaches. Lurkers as well. I mean, imagine a world where Reina just doesn't see this for 2 more minutes and then he attacks with only like 6 Hydras and his entire army just gets melted.
Well, to be honest, he's already at 187 supply, and I think he produced like
enough.
a couple of Hydralisks, not that much.
I think right now Reina is like, all right, just show me what you got. It's like, you want to show me what I got?
Show me
and
what
now
you got.
Reina's like, I don't like what you got.
I don't like what you got.
All right, so
eliminated.
The oracles have been revealed. Obviously, a couple of these Ravagers are going to get picked up very quickly. Yeah, but the problem is, though, he's still down 20 workers. 6 probes went down during all of this. I have no idea to what. The Hydras are here. 1 Oracle gets sniped very quickly.
Okay, I think there was a couple of Zerglings that maybe went and run by throughout the 3rd base. So, the thing is, the Oracle have been shown. He got a couple of Roaches and Ravagers out of it, but didn't touch the economy. Didn't go to the main base, didn't get a follow-up scout.
I'm so confused. The Robo Bay
Such a weird game from Poseidon.
+1 air weapons. It had a cannon rush. It almost had it all.
The only thing we like is DTs right now.
Yeah.
We want to see Blink DTs
with
now.
Blink. I mean, just for Fear Dragon. He's out there somewhere. He's like, this is the game. And we're like, no, Ravi. Reina's got all the map vision. It's never going to work. Oh,
it's still a good strategy.
DT base trade. It's going to work. All right.
What is this with the +1? Like, build a unit that actually gonna benefit from this.
I think he's not aware of it, Funka. I mean, they changed it a while ago, right? Like, I think Oracles used to get plus.
I don't think they ever did.
I thought there was a patch about
It's a
that.
spell, so it shouldn't be affected.
I thought they changed that back, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I mean, I know right now it doesn't do anything. That's why.
Thank you.
Obviously, we're looking at it and like, okay, well, Pulsar Beam is nice, but it's really not gonna shine any stronger because of +1 air weapons.
Imagine Oracles with +3 attack. They will actually one-shot on Ultralisk. That would be quite sick. Revelation goes into 3 units, but the Lurker in the middle will...
That's the one that matters.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one. The Zealot was not in hold position. Okay, that's a good stasis ward.
A cluster, you know what, of proto spellcasting. There's the stasis, there's force fields, there's oracles hovering above it.
Hey.
I'm confused looking at this Protoss army. Like,
I'm super confused as well.
Yeah.
And now we've got Disruptor.
Yeah,
Disruptor number 1 is here.
I mean, he's gonna try.
Hide it. Hide it. Okay.
One Disruptor is really.
Oh.
I mean, I think Reina is very confused too. He's getting Spore Crawlers.
That's super smart.
Yeah, it's obviously going to be very useful against the Oracles. Also, potentially, if there would be a carrier transition. You know what would have been sick if Poseidon just had the right bottom side of this map. So.
Oh yeah. Actually,
Reina has not scouted it.
It's gonna be tough to get a probe down there.
Yeah,
but
right now
if he's got a force base, that would be a totally different game. So he sees everything. He's gonna try for a fight against the Hydralisk with the +2 attack, and I do think the Oracle just cleaned out every single anti-air unit, and now the Lurkers have to go back. Nice disruption to move away the army, but the Zerglings coming out from the other side. That's pretty smart with some nice corrosive bile connecting with the rest of the army, and Rainer cleans about everything that's on the ground.
Yeah, lost a lot of himself as well. Obviously, a lot of Hydras went down, but he's replacing them with 27 Hydralisk at once. Meanwhile, Poseidon is like scraping out his pockets right now. He's like, do I have another bit of gas somewhere, you know, in one of my old jeans? And he's like, yes, it's enough for a Colossus.
But he does have a lot of minerals, though.
Yeah, but
2,700. If he did have a couple of Zealots,
but he has no charge. He has no charge.
Yeah.
If you have no charge, then like you can wipe in all the slow Zealots if you want, but slow Zealots are just useless at this point. They all die before they get a single swipe off. That's why it would have been so sweet if he had a hidden base and he would be able to have an extra bit of gas income. I mean, I have no idea what I'm watching, Funka.
It's such a weird game. It is a crazy game right now. Remember, it started with a cannon rush that killed the natural hatchery. But this time, you mentioned it, that's a whole lot of Hydralisk with +2 attack. And yes, there is 16 Oracles, soon to be 18. But I don't think it's going to be enough. Now the Twilight comes in. He realizes that he needs charge. He needs a way to use all those minerals. Maybe try to get a 4th base down south.
I don't even think charge would be great here, but obviously it's better than having 2,800 minerals in your bank. And I think that's what Poseidon realized as well.
Yeah.
For a second there, Funk, I thought you were going to sing for us when you're like, it started out with a cannon rush, and I was like, how did we end up like this? But you didn't go there. Very sad.
Not yet, not yet. I'm not good enough for now. Battery shell will get taken out from the opposite side with some lurkers. And yeah, Poseidon is in the same situation as us. Like, how the hell do I engage this army? Yeah. With nothing but oracles when there is creep near my third base, spores, a whole lot of lurkers, and massive amount of hydraulics.
What I'd love to see him do is fly all the oracles into the fourth base, kill the drones, and recall them.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think that would be better than just sitting here. And he keeps on revealing an army that he can't really face, you know. So
I also still like the Disruptors, but I think I would prefer the Disruptors over the Colossus. I understand it's very hard to control. Like I said, I got confused just looking at that Protoss army. Like, how would you group that? How do you want to fight with it? I had no idea. I mean, Colossus, the only thing you can really do is keep them on hold position and hope they get the job done.
Yeah, and no range as well. I don't think he ever invested in range, and he's actually going to go now that charge finished. The Zealots will go in right away on the Hydralisks, but now the Wall of Spore is actually making those Hydralisks tank a little bit more, but still, the Oracle do the job, and he will clear out this army. Oracle, good unit, Roddy.
I love how the Colossus was tanking for the Oracles. The Spore Crawlers were actually shooting at that one Colossus. Poseidon cleans up an army that really didn't look like it was ever going to get cleaned up. The biggest problem is, and now what? You know, like, I feel like you just hit the hornet nest and now you're like, okay, now they're getting really angry,
really?
Right?
Okay. Let me show you those 10 Mutalisks, lots of Hydras and 2 Vipers, and now he tries to snowball with the remaining amount of Oracles that he has, and yes, he will take down those Hydralisks, but Pulsar Beams, they don't hit air units.
Parasitic Bomb, no energy, I guess.
Just hook them.
I mean, the Oracle count isn't that high anymore. Like, he had, I think, how many Oracles went down in this game? 12, 14, 16! So he had over 20 Oracles. He's making a few new ones. He's like, you know what? I like those Oracles. Yeah. They did well in that fight.
Zealots and Oracles against Mutalisk. I think that's going to go well. But yeah, now a couple of Phoenixes will go out. Maybe that's a misclick because he's still building Phoenixes, but out of 1 Stargate. But obviously, Raynor, with the massive economy that he has, now he's got 5 bases, soon to be 6, and we'll deal a tremendous amount of damage just with some Mutalisks.
Oracles need an air attack, guys. This is sad.
Yeah, it's not a good unit at the moment. I think it lacks
looks at it like, we're with you, Phoenix. Go get him. Together we unite. We stand strong. Mutas are like,
in true Protoss fashion, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that one Phoenix with the shield battery is obviously gonna have a good time. This is really funny.
This game is so weird. Yes. Like, there's so many like situations that happened in this game that I've never seen before. It's quite interesting.
Imagine you have to write a recap about this game. It's like, all right, so Blackpink, right? Parasitic Bomb does land on one of these Protoss units, and it's that one Oracle. Poseidon eventually finds it. I always find it kind of hard to split up my Oracle units or Phoenixes. More Parasitic Bombs go down, and I think this is going to be it for one of the weirdest games we have seen, as an Abduct goes down as well in Nation War Season 5 so far. Even the Stalkers get abducted. Funka, I have no idea what we just witnessed, but I do know that Raynor won another game.
Yeah, Raynor did win a game and ties it up for Italy. Comes in and, yeah, in one of the weirdest games, well, probably the weirdest
game of Season 5 so far.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. And, yeah, well, once again, he's put in a weird position from the get-go with that cannon rush. And he puts everything back together. That's quite impressive to me.
You know, I always feel like the marks of a great Zerg player is how much they get done with very little. And it's like whenever you see Sarah with just a couple links, or you see someone like Nurcho getting a few links in somebody's main, they're always so annoying with it. Sarah, oh, excuse me, Sarah. Oh, Raynor, I feel like he almost won this game with that link counterattack because he really sold the idea like, this is all in, and it's like battery, no cancel, gateway goes down. And you can see like it was almost all hands on deck for Poseidon, while Raynor was like, just a couple links, brah. Nothing to worry about.
It's okay.
Yeah,
I'm building drones and getting 3 hatches, you know, no problem. No, it's interesting, and that's, you know, it's been a long time since we've seen Oracles wreck down Hydralisk and Spores and stuff like that. It's always cool to see.
It's a shame that these Oracles didn't go south right now, because they, like, the Oracles would melt these links in a split second, and then at least a couple of the other Protoss units would survive. And then if Poseidon would secure a 7 and 8 gas and can actually spend his bank, then maybe you could say you have a game, because Raynor also mentioned in the interview he likes playing as Protoss until the carriers are out. Like, that's the bane of his existence.
Which is the reason he went for +1 air attack. he meant to go for carriers in the end, you know? Yeah. He expected that. But no, I mean, good game from Rainer. Just able to figure out what was going on, even though it was quite hard to understand. Muda transition was quite smart. Just pulled back the Oracle, and as you said, I mean, the game lasted a little bit too long for Poseidon without getting a 4th base, without getting 7 and 8 gases. Yeah, in the end, it's just a little bit too much when the Zerg player is on 80 drones and 5 bases.
What a crazy, weird game. I've never seen so many oracles in my life.
You weren't there back in the halftime.
You missed the phase where everyone did it, but
like 20 oracles?
Oh yeah, even more. Even more.
You should have seen Scarlet's Protoss. It was disgusting. Like there was a time where Stasis Ward would actually not expire after 3 minutes. They would just always stay there.
Always.
So then you would see Protoss players make like 30 oracles and drop probably, like, without exaggeration, like 70 or 80 stasis wards across the map. And it's just like every Zergling run by goes like click, 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 click. And they could just never get anywhere.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, it was. That's why we patched it.
Good job, Blizzard, on this one. We'll have the next player for Norway. It's going to be Snoot.
Snoot.
Okay, let's go. You know?
Okay, so Rainer Snoot.
Some ZVZ violence.
Oh, yeah. That's the best kind of violence.
I can feel Pig from here. Pig is excited. He's like, roaches. Bloodbath. It's gonna be great.
See them coming.
This is gonna be it's gonna be a really fun encounter between these two. You've got one of the veterans of foreign StarCraft, the most successful, at least when it comes to prize money, non-Korean player of all time going up against, I mean, obviously the new kid on the block, the hottest player in Europe when it comes to recent performance, of who we don't expect it. I mean, Rookie of the Year, Breakout Performance of the Year. Rainer's got it all so far, but this obviously is a big test.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, so just after the break, we're gonna have the biggest game of the day. I'm really excited of seeing this. It's gonna be Rainer against Snoot. See you after the break. Welcome back with us here live in Paris Gaming Studios. If you've just joined us, you're here in time for the biggest game of the day. It's going to be Rainer against Snoot, two really good Zerg players.
Definitely the carries of their respective teams, Norway, Italy. And yeah, that was a long expected match and anticipated match in this series. And now it's happening. Game 3, tied 1 apiece.
Yeah.
Perfect
I do believe
timing.
It's the first of 3 times we'll see this epic battle go down, as they are both the carries, and whoever loses is going to be revived after, pretty much guaranteed. So I'm very much so looking forward to this extended best of 3.
And you expect the 2 players to tie, like 1-1, and then we see a 3rd game. Because if Snoot wins twice, right? Or Rainer wins twice, boom, it's 2-0. No 3 games. Well, it's still a best of 3 technically.
I mean,
but we wouldn't be seeing 3 games.
Why are you going to ruin this, Funka?
It's okay.
Okay, so here we go for this 3rd game. Snoot, Rainer, Norway, Italy. Who is going to be the nation advancing to the next round?
All right.
It's going to be on Backwater.
Yeah, just remember, guys, the nation that wins here will be qualified to the quarterfinals. And that's just 1 step away from making it to the live finals in Paris. That will happen on the 22nd of April. So obviously all those nations want to do that, want to be there and experience the French way of life and the Frenchies that yell at StarCraft event. They tend to be quite noisy. So yeah, of course everybody wants to have a piece of that. We have a ZVZ. We won't talk about the map, even though it's backwater. It's happening. We almost saw a tweet, but no, we're more interested in what's happening in StarCraft 2, right here, right now, in the bottom right, representing Norway, double champion from Season 1 and 2. It is Snoot, Jens Asgard.
In the top left for Italy, he is the blue Zerg Rainer. He's the new kid on the block.
Yeah, I like that. He's definitely the, the definition of new kid on the block.
Yeah, he's the new kid and Snoot's the old man with a cane yelling, "Get off my lawn."
Get off my lawn!
Get off my European ZVZ. This is mine. Yeah.
It's Snoot's territory, right? Like being on the top of the food chain in terms of ZVZ. So you could argue that Cyril, but also Nerchio, Elaser, all those guys, maybe doing a slightly better than him these days. But like the years Snoot has dominated the European region, still there. You know, it still counts. Yeah. He is the old man, and he wants to push away the kids that are trying to play ball on his lawn.
Although, you know, when Snoot turns, 80 or whatever, and is that old man, he'll probably be a really nice one. Probably see him playing ball and be like, here's a new ball and 20 other balls, and you guys should play all the time. And here, let me tell you about the glory days of StarCraft. And you're just like, old man Snoot.
Well, the thing is, like, young man Snoot is already adorable. Exactly. And I don't see him turning into, like,
crotchety old man.
Crotchety old man. No, I just don't see it. Jens is way too nice for it. But Rainer, on the other side, I think he's going to be a mean old man.
No way. I think something like dark and terrible is going to happen.
He's too cute. He's going to, like, transition, like, he's going to be the supervillain at some point, Like,
you think so?
Yeah.
Did you ever watch... Oh, shoots. The guy about the gentleman with the British spies and they're all gentlemen.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember the name, though, but I see the one you mean. I see the one you mean.
Oh, amazing. Did you see the sequel?
Yes.
Kingsman. There we go.
Kingsman.
Yeah.
Good
The
job.
villain is like this sweetheart that always smiles, and she's actually twisted and really gross. That's Rainer. Okay.
And, she eats human beings. It's quite gross.
Well, she makes other people eat them,
eating. Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Yeah,
and
that's
she's got that 70 or 60 vibe, weird in her lair. It's quite crazy. But you guys should see Kingsman. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool movie. I like the first one better though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
As we have the beginning of this ZVZ, which is the reason every single caster has a story at the beginning of a ZVZ. It's like okay. They're going to throw down 3 bases. It used to be ZVP, now it's 3 bases, and then you wait for the first player to produce a huge set of Zerglings. It's going to be Snoot. In this case, as Rainer will finish up his Baneling nests in a couple of seconds. Oh, so close to the overall. It's going to be scouted.
That's unfortunate. That could have been a big surprise for Rainer. They both were getting roughly the same amount of lings, but to be able to pounce on top of them before they're quite done could have been very good, but actually doesn't pounce on any of them. They all complete here. 4 of them. Rainer's Banelings only just finishes, something that Snoot sees. He's going to head into that natural, but his Banelings don't make it.
Yeah, but still connecting with a couple of drones. Gets 2 in the end with the Zerglings just finishing up. That was a transfuse on a Zergling, I believe.
Cocoon, the Baneling cocoon. But it didn't help enough, actually. It didn't end up completing. But Snoot's, he can't actually do anything more. He did delay his 3rd base for this, but he has more drones, so it actually ends up being okay.
He will defend, and with 31 drones, Snoot's still leading on the side of economy. 1 Baneling, 2nd Baneling. Okay, they're gonna get targeted down. Not going to the the right side of this middle thingy. I don't know what to call that actually. So we'll call it a thingy.
It's a thingy.
Is that okay with you?
Like, I mean, it's like a forest, but it has a building inside of it. I don't know.
Yeah. So there used to be a building in SimCity that had forest and was a building at the same time. Arc-forêt in French. Did you play SimCity 2000?
Yeah, actually, I was gonna say.
You remember like the late game buildings that you could build, like huge towers?
No. I died before then.
Oh, okay.
I was very bad at it.
Okay, you were attacked.
I was 9
by
years
aliens.
Old and
I
put all the catastrophes on and then I died.
Oh yeah, you're also putting, making it hard on yourself.
I did. Yeah.
Okay, so both players still alive in this CVZ. Rainer is gonna try and climb back at the economy side of things with like 12 more drones. Here we are, 46 to 48 right now. Rainer will have the advantage in a couple of seconds, as he has an earlier lair, earlier Roach Warren, and also earlier +1. So technology-wise, not doing too bad, not too shabby.
Yeah, actually, it's staying quite neck and neck, which is something that Snoot has played a lot of ZVZs today, and the last time I mentioned Snoot on this map, I mentioned how I feel like if he played Serral is the person I chose as an example, that they would be neck and neck for quite some time. He plays Raynor, and it is the same situation that I was expecting. Like they're quite neck and neck, maybe a slight difference on the +1. Maybe, you know, technically Raynor had a bit of a lead, but Snoot was right behind him on the drone, so I wouldn't even say it was that much. And the chances of them actually hitting that +1, 20, 30 second time, whatever it is actually quite low. It almost never happens. Yeah,
I agree with you. 67 drones for Snoot, 4th base coming in. No 4th base on the way yet for Raynor, but he will cancel Snoot's 4th base, so that should be good. No, it was close to actually killing it, and now comes in the 4th base. Double Evo, that's the difference. That's the major difference, as Snoot is opening up a lot of supply. I think it was 5 overalls at the same time. He keeps on making those. So earlier I mentioned about a massive roach timing from one player. I think it should be Snoot's situation this time.
He will be behind in the upgrade, so hopefully he doesn't hit an anti-timing where he's the one moving into +1. And I'm certain he'll be checking to make sure that doesn't happen, but that is something that Raynor can depend on to buy a few more seconds, or actually 10 or 20 more seconds, so that he can get a defensive setup. And I don't see Snoot, even if he does hit with his +1, I think he's just going to posture, kind of take control of the map, but I don't see him actually pushing through and killing Raynor, even though Raynor is being a little bit greedy by going for the Carapace too. Yeah, going for Carapace, going for the +2 right as the +1 finishes. Still no drones. Oh, more extractor. Okay, he's building some more extractor, Snoot, that is, because he was only on 4 at the moment, which was a little bit scary if you want to go into deeper technology, if you go for Hydralisk, if you go for whatever else, maybe Roach Burrow or something, but yeah. What is this +1? Lasted so long. It was so freaking long to finish. Snoot's, you know, is banking quite a lot, actually. And some of that has to do with the imbalance of his minerals and gas, but it also must be the 4th base timing, as he just doesn't have enough larva to spend on everything. If he did, I think hitting Raynor with even upgrades before this Carapace finish, as well as a bigger army supply, because imagine if all of that mineral and gas was in army supply right now, then he might have caught Raynor being a little too greedy. +1 Carapace and faster Hydralisk. And as it is right now, Snoot doesn't go for that timing, is actually a little bit supply blocked here, as he gets surprised by the Lings, I suppose, and is falling behind tech-wise. He hasn't chosen anything for the lair tech, no tunneling claws, no Hydralisk, and he's also, of course, falling behind in the upgrades. Are we seeing just a massive Roach Ravager, maybe? Like maybe you had some Ravager at some point to go for a massive 200 supply army? Yeah, we see the Ravagers right now. 6 of them are being produced, and I think he's just not gonna, well, might throw the Hydroden at some point, but for now, I think he just wants to do that you know, like massive push, frontal one. Gonna try to go for it. We've seen overspeed going from the side of Raynor, which actually tells us that he's gonna be dropping, and we see the first one going the other side of the map. That's a massive roach count, and 64 drones against 73 on the side of Raynor. So Snoot does have a slight advantage in terms of army supply. That was a really nice choice about the Spine Crawlers. We'll see how this fight goes down. Snoot is dangerously close to being down even 2 upgrades. Yes, that army is super tiny on the side of Raynor. And yes, he will have a couple of upgrades a little bit ahead of his opponent, but that army is super small. 4 roaches are on the opposite side of the map, a few more on the 3rd base. So yes, Snoot will take a lot of damage, but what happens if this army just snowballs out of control for Snoot? Which might just happen here. Hydras are coming in from the 4th base and dying immediately. Drones are being pulled, so Raynor might be killing a lot, but Snoot might win the game. He has so much army left over, now up 40 supply, doesn't care about the upgrades, and Raynor might just fall in this first game between him and Snoot. Oh yeah, and that's an important one. He will put the pressure back on Italy here by winning this game. Strategically speaking, quite smart. The supplies are super even. Yeah. We'll see if the you know, the reinforcements coming out from Raynor are enough. 78 against the 44, still producing, still has a decent economy to work with, as Snoot is totally broke. Maybe this game is not over after all. Maybe not. The larva actually comes out. The broodlings, rather, come out from some of these buildings. They help out. The drone pool helped out. And Rainer had enough of a bank to actually collect everything from every single base. He hasn't lost any bases yet, and he's still ahead by 24 workers.
Whoa, that's massive what's happening right now from the side of Rainer. But now, once again, some Hydralisk doesn't have anything to tank for them. And those roaches, that amount, is it enough to finish off the game? Is there enough lava as well for Rainer to just spend his money and his economy? Those Hydralisks, they will get one-shotted. I think they are. 1, 2, 3 Hydralisks will fall down. A couple of Ravager will pop out. But in the end, Rainer does it. Rainer holds as he killed most of the economy of Snoot. I can't believe this Italian kid just doesn't want to die.
I can't believe that. He was, everything was going against him with that fight. Sure, he had an upgrade. Actually, he had 2 upgrade advantage for like 20 seconds or something, but he was coming in from all different directions with Hydras that die super easily to those roaches, and yet somehow he built just enough, had enough support with the drones and the broodlings, and he now finds himself in what I can now say pretty confidently, Rainer that is in a winning position.
Oh, yeah.
Like, up in drones, up in army, up in upgrades.
Sometimes when we call games a little bit too early, then after that we just lose faith. And you're like, is he winning this game? I think he is. 60 supply against the 31 with 1 more upgrade. Obviously, he can just walk into a couple of corrosive ball, but there's only one Ravager. And look at it! Rainer being so cute and killing some lava. This is super smart, and yes, Snoot is going to have a hard time to defend against that army with the upgrade disadvantage. Even pooping on the second hatchery there with the Overseer. What a god! GG, Rainer. Even when he should die, he just doesn't die.
He just doesn't die.
No.
I 100% need to see that army fight again. There was a huge ball of red, and then suddenly enough blue trickling in from all different directions. I thought Rainer was going to be a goner, and he brought it back. What a god.
What a genius. No, seriously, like, you can tell he never lost hope in this game. I mean, when you see the army and you know you've got so much supply that's being used at the opposite side of the map, probably he doesn't know that he has like 13 more drones than his opponent. We will see the fight again. Look at it! Like, the army on the red side is so massive. And so yes, he will dodge most of the corrosive bile, because if he takes a couple of them, then suddenly this game is just gone. But he kept on microing as best as he could, and yeah, in the end, gathering the units from every single base. The drone pool is also super important, I believe. Oh, the cocoons didn't die on this one. It lacks 1 more bile.
Yeah.
Is he going to throw it?
I think this is where we were saying that Rainer's probably going to die, because I looked at the supply and it was down by 50, and I was like, you know, he has someone on the other side of the map.
And those roaches,
but,
they will eventually hatch. And, you know, shot probably two times, which is not that much, but considering how close this game was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see that Snoot was he was getting kind of disjointed as like a couple Ravagers went to the north, a couple roaches to the right side. I mean, there's a lot of contributing factors to why he was unable to win despite such a heavy army lead, but dang, Rainer keeping in it. I think a lot of other Zergs would have tapped out, seeing like what was almost like double the army supply in your face, knowing that you had all the economic damage but not the army. I think anyone else probably would have just been like, oh, okay, that's too much. Oh well, I tried. Like, I missed the timing, but Rainer stuck in it, and I don't know if I call it a miracle comeback, but it was
Miracle hold, and he kept on microing at the opposite side of the map. It's not like his roaches ended up just not doing anything, or no. He kept on going from base to base, killed every single queen, got like 50 drones in the end, and yeah, basically he's in a position that he still has a little bit too much army, and he's able to collect every single unit. Sight is going to be last player. We knew that already. But yeah, no, just all in all, incredible hold. Maybe just Snoot lacking the the killer instincts, and I think those couple of biles that he should have used, maybe if he kills every single roach on the natural, because it's actually smart to complement your army with those Ravagers in this kind of situation, because the guy is going to be reproducing instantly, and if you can kill those eggs, then you've got a pretty cool situation for yourself. It just didn't happen.
Yeah, killing the eggs would have been really huge. And I mean, maybe he should have pushed a little bit harder into the natural or into the main. As I said, like, he started to get kind of like away from his own army. But I guess it was always going to be close, considering that there was also that severe upgrade disadvantage. It just it looked like numbers were going to win out that time. Then absolutely not. Rainer continues to look like, genius kid here, and he will now be facing off against Scythe on Catalyst.
Yeah. So, interesting game because, well, we called that Norway was in a great spot in this clan war, considering, well, Snoot was, you know, an inch from taking out Raynor in their first encounter. But in the end, it's just Italy that has the upper end. And, well, even though Side does have a shot, I think the momentum coming out from Raynor is just going to be too much for this guy. Representing Norway. That's his first opportunity. Let's see if he can do it. It is Side. What a guy.
Nice. And in the bottom right, as the blue Zerg for Italy, he is Raynor.
He's also immortal, apparently.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, he's 15. You feel immortal when you're 15. You're also super hard to kill. Gotta, like,
do you know from experience that it's
Yeah.
hard to kill 15-year-olds?
No. I mean, in StarCraft. Don't put words in my mouth that I didn't say. Mapu. Good job by Mapu anyways. Working day in, day out.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
with a cool production crew, so I guess he's enjoying his time. I think they bring him food every 4 hours.
I think
Bring
they
him
actually
something
might have
to drink.
forgotten to give him food this time.
No.
I saw him looking around.
Like,
He
hey,
picked
guys,
up a little chocolate bar and was like, I
à
can have
manger,
this.
s'il vous plaît? He tried in French, maybe?
Oh, he's okay. He'll
He's
survive.
okay. He's okay, though. You know what? The only food he needs is passion. And
Yeah.
passion comes from StarCraft. Considering he has a lot of StarCraft game to observe, then I guess he's just, you know, he's fed.
Yeah, exactly. He's well fed.
Well fed. I am immortal as well.
He's also a 15-year-old.
Yeah. I know, he's not.
Watch out for Funka.
Yo.
That's a very nice scout. That's actually a very clever hidden scout. Not that Raynor would likely to follow up with the roaches or a baneling nest. I think he does just do the spawning pool for the lings. But he sees that it is an early spawning pool, so he keeps the Reaper at home. And then he does have the peace of mind to scout like a minute from now and be like, okay, there's nothing else here. There must be a third.
And of course, Raynor sees it.
Yeah, that's...
Well, it's just, like, he never misses a beat. It's crazy.
Apparently not.
Like, how likely is it, to see a mistake coming out from Raynor at some point? I mean, he already played a couple of games, he already carried his team, was put in a pretty tough spot against China, and now keeps on going and never misses anything. It's like, okay, I beat Snoot, maybe I will relax, you know, and play, you know, a cheeky game against Side, maybe forget about that SCV. No, he doesn't forget about it, just comes in, takes it out, and then, you know, everything good in his side of the map.
Yeah. It does put a little uneasiness in any Terran not to have the full scout, but I think if you're facing Raynor, who has, I believe in every game that we've seen him, at least gone to a macro third base. He might have done like a roach attack that I don't quite remember, but...
I don't even think he did.
Yeah, I don't think he did. I think it was a macro game.
No, he played Clem and against France and played a fairly standard game.
Yeah.
With double Evo before there.
And then he played Time 3 times.
Yeah.
And that was
and
macro.
he played mostly macro games. He, you know, he was pressured quite hard in the first game and then was able to get the two other ones going for himself. And all of the time he was on the back of just a, you know, normal opening.
Yeah,
he defended a double racks at some point.
Yeah, he did a Nidus for him, but it kind of felt like, you know, you brought this on yourself time by trying to proxy main. Lings, you try and get into the main. That would have been nice to see the Cloak already on the way. We do have Cloak, so Banshees would be coming out after that medevac, not a Viking. Oh, he still saw it, never mind. Well, it's not a Viking, and that Overlord will get a double scout if it wants to. Maybe see an Armory be put down, but...
If he goes for Banshee and doesn't cancel Cloak, then I have to be a little bit mean here. Like, why is that starpot so close? Should put it a little bit further away, man.
Yeah, I do agree. But I guess the Ling should never actually get past the natural. Oh, and that medevac's not supposed to be scouted like that either, so a bit of unluckiness for Scythe. Although I like what he tried to do, and then another Overlord sees...
it's like, oh, I switched. No, I know. Raynor sees everything, and we know knowledge is power. And for now, Raynor is a really powerful 15-year-old kid from Italy.
We finally have the Armory on the way. I mean, that feels a little bit late, but that just means we'll have a lot more Hellions. Reynor will also be trying to defend that with Roaches, it looks like. Should be just barely timed out here. Actually, it's going to be quite close. He might not have anything really strong to defend against this, except for those Queens. And the Target Fire is good. That might not even be enough.
This time? Okay, Reynor seems to know about it. Oh, he already pushed it. Look at how he postures his Zerglings. Like, it's quite crazy. He did that against Clem as well. On his third base back then, he was able to kill 6 aliens. And now just having some aliens, some Zerglings in the main actually prevents Scythe from going into the Hellbat transformation right on top of the main base. Now the Queen's almost able to kill that Banshee as it flies by the Spore, and he will lose it right now. Transfuse is going down, and now the Hellbats are not doing anything.
I do like this. I was going to say he's missing a Medivac and 4 Hellbats, and the likelihood of them doing damage in the main was quite low. But he actually was able to avoid the Lings, transform all 4 of them, and now is doing some serious denying of mining at the very least. He's also finally getting a couple of Queens. This turned out to be, I want to say, like an okay attack if he saves the Medivac, which he's not going to.
Yep. And we'll take a look at the amount of drones that fell, but I'd say not more than 2.
Yeah, there was
Just
only
the
one. Finally, I guess a few more go down with the Banshee because the Spore Crawler moved. But right, if the Medivac hadn't died, I'm like, he killed a couple of Queens. He denied a lot of mining. The Banshee follow-up was still there. Like, maybe that is worth the amount of Hellions he lost for it, but not really. And his follow-up is into the Cyclone Hellion, which I feel is going to be stronger against a more caught-off-guard Zerg. Reynor didn't take that much damage, doesn't have to do a whole lot of droning to make up for it, and isn't even really bothering to remake any of the Queens that he lost.
Can we see how many Queens he lost, actually?
3, 4, oh, 5.
5 is a pretty high number, but... Well, still, in this game, I think Reynor is just enjoying himself quite a bit, reproducing those Queens right now. +1 attack, Clear Reconstitution. We'll scout out the next phase of the attack, and now has all the keys, all the tools, all the information in the world to be prepared against that Cyclone Hellbat push that's coming in.
Yeah. I mean, this is sort of similar to what Time did, different variation of the Hellbat, different timing as well, but the follow-up, the same general idea, pressure into pressure into pressure. Unfortunately, Reynor did not take as much damage this time, even though 5 Queens is decent, and also just, I think, has, he actually had a fairly good defense against this against Time, so I'm thinking he's going to have an okay one here, but 3 Banshees, no joke, one of them 2 Banshees, but a lot of Roaches, so the Cyclone's not able to help out enough for this.
I don't think he could have started worse for Scythe on this one, losing a Banshee, losing a lot of Hellbats, losing everything basically, as the 3rd CC is not done yet. There are 61 drones for Reynor. He's got a massive Roach and Ravager army. Is Reynor gonna lose a game today? Like, is it possible? He did lose one against China though, but
yeah, I think it's totally possible that Sid comes back and takes him out.
What the hell?
But I'm not very confident in Scythe here. As he is pushing to work, there's not much following. If he had like 4 tanks, this actually maybe is foldable. But yeah, right now it's GG. Cyclone's just not what you need against this many Roaches.
Reynor is just too good. Like, the way he handled the first Hellbat push. Now, even Biles a Banshee, that's not supposed to happen, guys. Banshees can move.
Yeah.
Corsi's Bile can't. And yes, Scythe is, figuring out that he lost GG. And that's 3-1 in favor of Italy. And Reynor cannot be stopped. I'm afraid. I'm legitimately afraid for Snoots.
Oh yeah, I think Snoots, in the interview, he said he was kind of afraid of him. I think that he realizes it's going to be difficult for ZVZ. I also think that Snoot can do it. He's got to believe in himself. But yeah, I gave Italy the win for a reason, man.
I'm shocked. Yeah, I bet on Norway, and now I'm sad. Yeah. Because I might lose to you. And you.
You're right.
Yeah. Well, it's not done yet. It's not done yet.
Yeah.
Don't gloat, don't gloat yet, right?
We might be right.
You guys might be right.
We might be right.
Okay, so Reynor, is he going to be able to all kill Norway?
Yeah.
Yes. I think he's able to. The question is, will he do it? But like, there's no questions here in my opinion. Like, he showed like glimpses of brilliance in every single matchup. He won a game that we called basically lost against Snoots.
Oops.
Now he destroyed sites in this game. Like it was a beating. Like he lost 5 queens.
Yeah.
Yes, he lost 5 queens and 2 drones. Like it's not gonna go well for you as a Terran player if you can't deal much more damage than that, while being so aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard. Maybe Scythe saw the game versus Time and thought he had a good idea, but it's hard to replicate Time. There's a reason that Time is so good and got so close to beating Raynor.
Yeah.
Now you have to look to Snoot in his EVZ, so you're not really getting any information there. Snoot has to actually win against him to get information about how to win against him. So I believe it can happen, but I do believe the ace goes to Raynor still. The guy's just on fire, momentum, etc.
So yeah, now the situation is like, do they finish the game right away? Like, is Raynor able to do that, or do we go into a probable 4-3 situation?
Okay, so before getting the confirmation about the revived player for Norway, let's take a look at some tweets. I've seen some really funny ones with dogs and expect to get out noobs.
What? Expect to get out noobs. Interesting. Well, he does look like Harry Potter a little bit, so I will give you that.
He's a kid
Thank
with
you,
glasses.
Gauntlets.
Yep.
Raynor Putter.
Great channel on Twitch as well, Gauntlet. Ah!
Finally, a puppy.
Hashtag Dogs of
Roddy.
Nation Wars. Yeah, don't worry. He's in a... I could hear the "aw" in the green room.
Yes!
No.
Yeah. Cats are the best.
Don't poop on my handsome cat.
I would never do that.
Never.
I would never do that.
He knows how to play fetch. Oh, I love cats that do that. I love your cat.
Because you actually like dogs. But oh! Borsty?
That one is funny.
So, which one am I? Like, I'm in the middle?
You're the cute little...
What kind of dog
Actually,
is
what
this?
type of dog is that?
I don't know.
I thought it was just a brown Labrador, but chocolate lab, but I'm not sure anymore.
No, with the big ears. What's the one? I can't remember. I'm so bad
Not a
at
beagle,
names.
is it?
They're beagles, maybe, yeah. It looks like.
We have to ask the guy. So Raynor is my hero. Taking on Snoot. What a god. I have not seen that GIF in a very long time. You can tell how long it's been because it's like a GIF for ants. It's so tiny.
I thought you were about to say because In Control was winning a game or something, but that would have been rough.
Yeah.
That would have been rough.
Oh god. I wouldn't say that. You see the GIF, you see what he's doing, you see how powerful he is.
Dude.
I would not say that.
Smack me in the face right away. Okay, so we're still waiting on Norway's confirmation?
Yeah, but
30 seconds.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Snoot.
I wonder. It'd be super surprising, right? If it was anybody else than Snoot, like...
Yeah. I mean, even more than him being the star player of Norway, I'm pretty sure he wants to tackle Raynor again. Snoot's a very, cool guy, and I think he has a very good mindset. He, wants to play in tournaments, even if they're not worth that much. He wants to play against these top-tier guys just to say, yeah, I learned a lot from that. So, of course, it's going to be him.
Okay.
Okay, so we have the confirmation here. It's gonna be Snoot who's getting revived for Team Norway.
Yeah, and he has to bring it back for his team, and he will need to beat Raynor twice then. It's gonna be a tall order.
Yeah, but I think if he got really close, man. We really cannot disregard how close that game was.
It did.
It can happen again. These guys are macro machines, and I'm sure they'll both be making some mistakes eventually.
Looking forward to it.
And besides, next game is gonna be on Abiogenesis. So it might be the last game of the day. So stay with us. There's gonna be a short break, and see you after the break. Hello and welcome back for this game, which might be the last one of the day. It's gonna be Raynor against Snoot, and I'm here with Zombie Grub and Rotterdam.
Oh, I'm so excited this is on Abiogenesis.
Yeah, so it's a best of one in the bio. That's great, but obviously you guys were talking about it, but that game on Backwater, ridiculous. We're sitting backstage, we're all watching it on TV, and I have all the SC2 experts next to me. He's dead, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead. It's GG, it's GG. And it's like, I actually think he's doing it, guys. It's like, you look at the numbers, and this was one of those rare occasions where the soup did kind of lie. I mean, he was down 40 army supply while Snoot was in his natural. Absolutely amazing hold by Raynor. You get used to players doing amazing things so quickly, because by now we all know that Reiner is amazing, and you look at the game, it's like, yeah, that was really good, but Reiner's really good. It's like, no, guys, it was actually like really, really, really good. We need to talk about it. That's sick.
I mean, that kind of sums up my feelings about that game. And now we're going into the second map between these two with a little blip of a ZVT in the middle. But on a Biogenesis, this is just, it's going to be kind of silly because it's, I don't expect them to both early pool or something really weird like that. They're just not those types of players. But there's no denying, especially in ZVZ, that you have to play to the map. So a lot of these things that we saw in Backwater just might not happen the way we think on Abiogenesis.
Okay, now it's time to find out if Snoot can take his revenge on the young Reiner. And it's gonna be an Abiogenesis, so we can expect some really crazy moves. And here we go for the game.
Reiner looked at those statistics of Snoot. He's like, that's pretty good. But 2 years from now, I'm going to have a better win record while collecting 32 wins. This is going to be our map for potentially the last map of the day. But perhaps you guys heard me whisper, no. I would love to see this go to Game 7 as well between these two. That does be a lot of fun. It's just crazy, man. This group to me, it's just so tough to predict. You look at Reiner, it's like, yeah, he's the hottest player, but he's that young. Can he really beat Time twice? Can he really beat Snoot twice? Well, apparently, so far it looks like he can do it all. The kid is just absolutely amazing.
He is looking quite good. Snoot knew he was going to be up to a challenge. He said ZVZ wasn't really a strong suit lately. Reiner is, on fire, is looking really good. And now he has to face him on one of the smallest maps we have. And ooh, we do have a change-up of style. In the bottom right, as the red Zerg for Norway, he is Snoot.
You guys heard it, Jess was oohing, and that means there was a very early pull for this man who's representing Italy. It's Reiner. So we asked him about the 12 pull that he did against Cyan on this map, and he was like, I vetoed the map, I just kind of wanted to try and see where it went. Now in ZVZ, Snoot goes hatch first. It's a 17 hatch. Now, oh my goodness, he just made another drone.
One more. Oh, he does. And he goes for the gas as well. Let's not forget versus No Regret that he did go for a pull first when it came down to what was the last game for Canada. I think he was expecting something, as one should. Against Reiner, however, unless he was listening in on that interview, unless he thought that it would also pertain to ZVZ, I don't think he has any reason to expect an early pull from this young kid, Reiner, and he is going to shock Snoot, but he's not going to truly all-in Snoot. This is no gas. He's looking for a kill on that hatchery.
He's not going full Bly. He's not pulling 8 drones, and he's not going to build 3 spine crawlers in the main base off Snoot, which I actually think would be pretty sick on this map, considering how fast your drones will be there as well. Snoot with that very late pull, he's going to have to do some miraculous dancing with his links and with his drones. Well, first his drones to buy time, and then with the links as well, make sure he gets a good engagement. Reiner for now is going to settle, like you said, by just trying to kill this hatchery.
The very ideal scenario is killing drones that are pulled down as well. But really, at this tier of ZVZ, I think you more expect Snoot. Whoa. Okay, to pull the drones and not lose very many is what I was going to go into. But he actually does something very extreme. I feel like recently, as we see the hatch go down, I've seen a couple of the Korean Zergs actually follow this up with an evolution chamber and a Baleen. It's like, that was weird. I kind of like what Snoot's doing a lot better. Like, he is going just counter all in here. Banelings, lots of them. But is he going to be scouted? Reiner must be wondering what is going on.
I actually like what Snoot is doing as well, because at the end of the day, he's still up by 3 workers. He's been mining more throughout the majority of this game. Has to make sure he doesn't take the fight too early. Snoot actually dropping quite a few links already. How many links did go down for Snoot there? Can we take a quick look at that? So it's 3 against 1. Not the end of the world. But obviously in these super low eco scenarios, every link does count.
He canceled the gas though. I don't know if he actually was supply blocked and needed to get the queen or something like that, or it changed his mind. But this is no longer looking like a counter all in. He actually does go into droning. He sends a drone over here, obviously. I don't think this is selling a story. I think he really wants to take the hatchery.
The drone lives for now, somehow. Reiner still wants to get that drone, and Reiner's gonna... No, the bailing! Wow.
Well, that was perfect. That was the definition of perfect right there. He's able to take the hatchery. We have Reiner actually following up here with double gas as opposed to taking one a bit earlier and also going into his own speed, which seems kind of dangerous in Abiogenesis.
Yeah, I really feel Snoot should just go for it. I mean, speed is halfway done. He already has quite a few links out. Of course, Reiner is going to start working on something that is going to resemble a wall-off. He needs to wait until the creep is far enough out there. But with that creep tumor, he's going to start to at least create a little bit of a wall, but without a spine, I still don't have that much confidence in a wall like this.
Well, Snoot's also going for a Roach Warren. I think that if Snoot was going for a Ling Baneling all in, this is actually like really scary. I agree with you without the Spine Crawler, but clearly Snoot's at least going to wait for Roaches, which is quite a long ways away. I mean, the Roach Warren's still not done. And Raynor should have, I mean, he has a superior economy, a superior larva count. He's going to have the superior Roaches as soon as he realizes that something is up. And Snoot not looking so hot in this final game.
I mean, Snoot is just going to go for it. He's banking up money. He's going to make his Roaches right here, right now. Raynor's still just droning up, though. And even getting +1 missile attacks as well. Obviously, the fight should happen for Snoot way before +1 missile attacks. Layer, extra gas, all of these things are things that Snoot wants to happen on the other side of the map. He's like, yes, please. Okay, now the first Roaches are on the way for Raynor. I mean, obviously the Roaches are going to be slow from Snoot, so the reinforcements are not going to be there immediately. But our biogenesis is very small. It's going to get a close call. I actually think that Snoot might be able to get it done here, especially since there is no Spine Crawler here. Yeah,
Snoot might be able to do it. I said as soon as Raynor realizes what's happening, he'll make his own Roaches, and that might be good enough, but on such a small map, it's going to be difficult. His Overlord is also just pushed off and wasn't reset. No, it was reset. Yeah. He sees the Roaches, but they're like 5 seconds away from his natural.
Yep, all the links behind this as well for Snoot. Obviously, he's going to be able to reinforce this very quickly. Now the extra spines go down. I think Raynor canceled +1 missile attacks, realizing that he needs extra money. He needs to squeeze out as many units as possible. Snoot should obviously go for the, well, he can go for the spine as well. He's going to go for it. No time to waste. He's going to try to get his links in the battle as well.
That's really not great to let the army in so quickly. We also have some Banelings coming in for the splash. The Spine Crawler is still not done, about 80% done, but the Queens are gone. Raynor is desperately making as many Roaches as possible. He will have to pull the drones, but does Snoot have too much? 7 more Roaches are on the way, but the Spine Crawlers have been cancelled, and Raynor might just be too shocked in this game.
Yeah, it's still close. I mean, there are plenty of Roaches popping for Raynor. He could pull a few more additional drones as well. Snoot is starting to lose out on the numbers a bit. Look at Raynor, starts +1 in the midst of all of this. He's not respecting this at all. He's like, I'm done. I have defended. I can start my +1 missile attacks, and Raynor just pulls off another hold.
It's deja vu. It's like the last game these guys played, but to a much smaller army between them. Snoot almost getting into the heart of the production, but Raynor was able to rally enough units at the last second. And even after all his Queens died, even after the Spine Crawlers were killed, he was able to get enough Roaches, and Snoot's desperately going to try and break through again. It's not going to happen. If Snoot can't break him here, he's not going to break him at all.
I mean, that one corrosive bow actually did connect in the middle of the Roach pack, but it's just Zerglings now against plenty of Roaches here for Raynor, who of course can use the drones one more time, and that's exactly what he does. Good micro by Raynor. He's really keeping those Roaches alive for as long as possible, even as his own Ravager. GG! Raynor gets the second all-kill of the day and secures Italy a spot in the quarterfinals of Nation War Season 5.
Oh, it's always so interesting to see Abiogenesis as the last map, and that is the last map. Italy wins, will advance on, and we did predict, me and Hajime, we predicted the Italy win.
It was a 4-3 though. I mean,
yeah,
you're up by 2 maps. Yeah, Raynor is just, the kid is amazing. He's unstoppable at the moment.
Twice now he barely held in the Roach game. I mean, a big difference between 50 supply and 150 like the last time, but kind of a similar idea. This guy's just, apparently he can't be all-ins to win.
Incredible game here. I was just here waiting for the game. I was like, oh, it's over, and well, congratulations, Italy. Raynor has all killed Norway, and Italy is the first nation qualifier for the round of 8. So big congratulations. We're going to have the interview with the 3 of them. Cool. Fortunately,
we're going to see Mia Non now. We've already seen a picture there. He kind of spoiled it for us. Damn, Raynor is 12-1 right now in this season of Nation Wars.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
And now I just want to see him play against Zero. I'm just curious now.
I don't know. Let's not get into that yet, just yet. Let's have them have their moment. But, I mean, Raynor is really showing us that he's one of the absolute best players in Europe. And everybody knows that the moment Raynor turns 16, you've got another very serious contender in all those WCS circuit events, because I mean, the way that he's been playing over the last few weeks in China as well, and now of course here, the kid is one of the very best.
Okay, so even Italy has won, it's not over for Norway. So tomorrow there's gonna be the losers bracket. There will be Canada, China first, and then the winner will face Norway, and then we'll have the second nation advancing to next round from Group China.
I'm surprised they call it the loser bracket. I thought we changed that in 2014. Loser bracket has a very negative tone. We call it the lower bracket.
Ah, the lower bracket. Sorry, my bad.
But Nationwise is ruthless, man.
Don't
No,
worry.
loser bracket. Take it, guys.
Two losers.
Okay, so let's have a look. So as I said, there's gonna be China, Canada. As tomorrow there will be only 2 series. It's gonna start at 7 p.m. So don't be too early. But
Yep.
No, be here at 5, guys. Just
Yeah, and then just wait around.
enjoy the rerun.
Make some memes.
Warm up the chat a little bit, you know, create a fun environment, a pleasant chat experience.
Yeah.
It always is, right?
Yes, it's always pleasant. I'm sure it's happening right now.
Yeah.
I guess we're still waiting on that interview. I'm very excited to actually talk to Rainer. I mean, I know he's been kind of giving some, you know, like, oh, I'll try my best, and no, I think it'll be close. But like, I'm really waiting for the one time. Maybe he wins against Cyril, and he's just gonna be like fist pump in the air. Like, he's gonna be so excited. It'll happen one day.
The final of WCS Austin 2019. Rainer versus Cyril. I can already see it. A thrilling ZVC best of 7. Comes down to the final corrosive ball. Somehow connects with the final roach. That's what Zerg dreams are made of.
okay, so now the interview is ready. We have our Italian players with us. Hi. Hello,
Hello.
guys. Congratulations.
I love how they're all doing the Rainer wave.
Thank you.
So we have Mianona on the top right, Rena, and Rim Blaster. So, Rena, you just all killed Norway and you beat Snoot twice in a row. How do you feel?
I feel happy.
Okay.
Just happy, Rainer. Come on, like those games, like the game on Backwater.
Yeah.
Even you must have thought you were in trouble there. Like his army was massive and it was at your front door.
Yeah, I know, but I made many games like that one, and yeah, I thought I could have won with the Rambais.
So you knew, you never doubted yourself that it might be
No,
GG?
I doubted because he had a really big army, but in the end,
You were just too good. Say it, Rainer.
Yeah,
say
you
it.
Yeah.
It's really impressive.
What was closer, actually, in your opinion? You know, we have our own watching the game, but was it the Backwater game or the Abiogenesis game that you just played? I mean, was that actually nerve-wracking, or you figure you got it? As soon as you dealt with the Ling flood, you started +1. You seemed quite confident.
yeah. As soon as I killed his first army, I knew I won because he was behind, really behind.
Yeah, but was it more nerve-wracking than the Backwater game, or less?
The Backwater game was more intense.
I love it. Hello as well to Rune Blaster and Mianona, of course. I mean, Mianona, you made a statement this morning. You said, I cannot wait for Rainer to carry us all the way to Paris and hang out with you guys. It's starting to become pretty real, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I also said to Rainer that if he'll kills every team until he carries us to Paris, I'm gonna just bring him on my shoulders wherever he wants into Paris. So I'm gonna just do like his boss. I'll be his boss.
I love it. Must be really
he deserves it.
Yeah, must be so exciting, right? I mean, like you have a 15-year-old Italian Zerg on your team, and suddenly you guys are looking very keen to at least make it to the semi-finals here. I mean, that must have been crazy. Like, who could have predicted that 6 months ago?
Yeah, I think no one. I mean, even maybe Rainer did not look so well earlier than now. I mean, I think that he stepped up his game in WSG. I think that when we saw what he was capable of in WSG, we all understood where he could bring us, where he could go. I think that WSG was just a moment that we all realized that the Rainer's hype, it's actually real. It's not just hype anymore. It's a real thing.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys are now in the clear up to the round of 8s, at the very least. What do you guys think about the losers brackets, the lower bracket? I'm sorry, I'm too polite. Who do you think is actually going to advance with you guys? China, Canada, Norway?
China.
China. I think
China.
Norway.
One for Norway? Mianona?
I think China.
Okay. No
2 for
confidence in
China.
Canada.
Rune Blaster.
China is quite strong.
You love the Terran, of course, right? I've got a question for you, Rune Blaster. I haven't, like, obviously your name is someone you've been around for a long time, but we don't see you in that many tournaments. Are you still playing a lot? What has been happening in your StarCraft 2 career, so to speak, over the last 2 years? Because you're a familiar name, but we don't really see you in, like, Go for StarCraft 2s or even, like, the WCS qualifier. So what has been happening with you?
Yeah, I'm quite busy in this moment, but I just graduated in my master's degree just yesterday, so I was quite busy for this this time. But now I can play a little bit more.
Congrats.
So we're expecting big things in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, it's the first time Italy got through the group, so quarterfinals is already a good point to start for this season. Yeah, good things to happen.
Awesome. Is there any nation, I'm going to ask this is a question for all three of you guys, Mia, Nonna, you can go first, Rune Blaster second if you want. Is there any nation that you would love to play in the quarterfinals? You look at some of the lineups, whether they're strong or weak or it increases your chances, is there any nation that you really want to go up against? Mia, you can go first.
Okay, for me, everywhere there's Terran. I mean, like, for example, the Netherlands. I mean, I think that the only way I can do something against professional players is against Terran. Because Zerg, I'm very bad in PvC. And PvP, you know, I have those kind of coin flips builded that I can use sometimes. But against really good players, it's really hard even with coin flips builds. But where I can meet Terran, I think that I can do something good. Like, for example, you saw against Time, I did a decent game, I think.
Yep.
And if I did not have all the pressure that I felt, I think I could have actually done even better and maybe won. Like, for example, you told I was late with the blink, and that's true. That was just because I was very feeling the pressure. I'm very emotional and that kind of thing. So if I can meet any Terran, I think that I can do decent. Otherwise, I just am... I'm free time to the other players. I mean, I think that if I can beat someone, it's gonna be Terran.
Okay, Rune Blaster, any nation that you really want to go up against?
Maybe Poland, but it's very hard to beat Poland. I mean, I'm not gonna beat any one of them, of course, but Poland did eliminate us from Nation Wars Season 4, so maybe revenge.
All right, Rainer?
I don't know, maybe Ukraine, UK, Sweden, Poland. It's okay.
Oh, UK. So you think UK is gonna beat South Korea on Saturday?
I don't know, maybe.
Think about that.
The Muslim!
Well, they would go up against the UK as second, right? Maybe he thinks South Korea wins the group and UK gets second. Because they won. I mean, they're going to play against the second place finisher of the other groups.
That's a good point.
I'd be sad to see you guys go up against the Netherlands, because I would actually love to hang out with you guys in Paris. It would be great, guys. So, you know, don't draw the Netherlands in the quarterfinals. You just don't do it.
Okay, I have a question for you. How to decide who starts the game?
I choose the maps. If I like the first map, I play first. Otherwise, they play.
Very well, that's a clear answer. I understand. Any last words you want to say to your fans in Italian or English, as you prefer?
Thank you, guys.
I guess.
Thank you for cheering for us.
Thank you, guys. Yes.
Okay. Well, do you have any questions to add?
No, I'm done. Congratulations, guys. I mean, of course, Rainer, spectacular performance, and I'm looking forward to see you guys in the quarterfinals. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Congratulations, and see you next week for the quarterfinals. Ciao.
See you.
Ciao.
Wow, they're so nice.
My favorite little moment there in the end is like when you ask, like, who goes first, guys? And then the little Rainer, he's like, I look at the maps, and if I like it, I play. Otherwise, they play. Yeah. And I love that Rune Blaster. Like, he's covered out a little chuckle. He's like, yeah, the little man is right. He's the boss.
He's actually the big boss.
Yeah,
I love
he's a really impressive player. And now we have Italy qualify for the quarterfinals. But it's not finished with this group yet. So tomorrow we're going to have Canada, China, and then the winner are going to face Norway.
That's going to be fun. This group is far from decided. Of course, I mean, Canada didn't look super good. I hope that they have Jig yesterday. I really feel the team is, not to disrespect Flood, but I think that Jig is just very strong. You replace him with any of the Canadians, and I really feel you want to have Jig on your team. Then I believe they have a shot. Without Jig, I think it's going to be very difficult. China still looks scary, man. Like, even though they fell today with time, and even Cyan, who looked alright, and Maxet, who executed his build pretty good. China is still a country that can also easily advance to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little surprised when the Italian guys said that they thought China. 2 out of 3 of them said China, but I thought about it more, and time was the only contender to Raynor in this Nation Wars. So that is a lot of weight to put on them, and I think they could definitely take out Snoots. So yeah, they might just be the next guys out.
Yeah, so we'll find out tomorrow who's going to advance to the next round. Thank you for watching. I hope you had fun. We really enjoyed today's series with Reno, of course. And don't forget about the in-game items you can buy with Macherino. And I wish you a good evening. See you tomorrow at 7 p.m.